What up, what up, what up? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Where my tea party at? We're in a fuel queue. We are in a fuel queue. What up, everyone? We're in a fuel queue. We are trying to I'm on my way to Gweru tomorrow morning around 4 with the Fresh in a Box team, so I need to make sure that I get some fuel in my car. If you have a look, we're on empty. We're totally on empty. So we're in a fuel queue, right? So I'm bored. I thought maybe let's talk to my peeps. Anyone who's up wants to know what's going down. This is the current situation in Zim. Quite a long fuel queue to the trek. So it's important to talk about things that are affecting these situations. The current budget has just come out, Professor Mtuli Nube. And it's a bullshit budget. It's a seriously bullshit budget. Hey Craig, I'll check my inbox. Yo, hit me up on WhatsApp. It's a bit better. My Facebook inbox is nuts. It's nuts. It's hard to find stuff. Facebook hides things and filtered this and that, and it's really hard to find stuff in my Facebook messenger. So please WhatsApp me. My number's all over the internet, man. 0716 111 111. Just WhatsApp me. It's easier. Alright, so yeah, we're in a fuel queue. Just trying to get some fuel for my trip going to Gweru tomorrow. And I know that if we get on the road without getting fuel, especially with our current situation here with like 0-0, we'll find ourselves stranded out there. So I thought, let me fill up the car and we can go forward. But however, let's talk about the budget. And I think, yes, Blessing, we can absolutely talk about the behavior of the MPs. But the MPs did nothing wrong. My blood boils watching my MP, because I'm in Harare West now, seeing Jawara Mamumbe being manhandled by police officers in the August house. In the house, she's a representative of the people. She was voted in and has a mandate of over 20,000 people from Harare West. And she was manhandled and roughed up and punched and pitched by these fucking police. And I've never liked these police in the first place. So I'm a bit annoyed by the way that some of our honorable gentlemen and women in the August house were treated by the system. I think it's bullshit. I think, you know what? They didn't stand for the president to when the president walked in. And I understand that they're being disrespectful. That's a protest, and it's okay for opposition leaders to protest when they feel that when they feel aggrieved, and the MDC MPs have a reason to feel aggrieved. So they didn't stand up when ED walked in. Okay, so what? This does not justify the degeneration of our August house into stupidity, where police officers are walking into our House of Parliament, our chamber, the way the lawmakers dwell, and manhandle MPs who have been elected and given a mandate by the people of Zimbabwe. I guess bullshit. So I don't want to dwell too much on it, but I want you guys to understand that no matter how, if you think MDC was wrong for not standing up for ED, I get that. But if you allow the system to bring in police and manhandle and drag and punch members of parliament, how the fuck do we expect to become a civilized country? Right? How the fuck do we expect to become a civilized country if we allow police officers paid by our fucking tax dollars to walk into our Augusta house, to our representatives, our lawmakers, the people who we pay, the people we entrusted with our constituencies, to be manhandled? That's bullshit. And on a personal level, I think we should never, ever, ever, ever forget what the actual story is. The story is the MDC refused to stand up in the parliament. The MDC have a right to protest. The MDC has a right to protest. Ladies and gentlemen, it's in our fucking constitution. Those ladies and gentlemen who are being beaten up by these fucking police are honorable gentlemen in our August House. These are people who have got mandates. People like Joanna Mamombe have got 20,000 fucking voters who voted for her. These are young women and young men who have been voted for to represent the wishes of the opposition. And any good country needs an effective opposition. Even if that opposition is protesting. And the protest was simple. This guy's coming in with a fucking scarf and he's got regalia on. It's not respecting the August House. We're there for a financial update on our budgets. This affects our money. Take off the regalia. Have some fucking respect for the fucking parliament, guys. Come on now. And then you let the police walk in. Those brackwatch ass, sellout ass niggas walk into our August House and drag out our men and women of the opposition. I think that's unacceptable. So I'm really sorry that I have to vent. But I think it's unacceptable. People protest until when. That's the beautiful thing about democracy. Protest forever if you want to. Right? Protest forever if you want to, because that's their fucking right. Now, they're not just complaining about nothing. They're complaining about mistreatment. They're complaining about not recognizing the president, and that's their right. That's their job. They're speaking on behalf of their constituents. As you walk around Mount Harare West right now, ain't nobody gonna salute that guy. Ain't nobody believes he's doing anything for us. They're representing our concerns, and that's why they're there, right? So they can protest forever. As long as we gave them a mandate and we're putting juice up them and say you have to speak on our behalf, they must. They must. Right? We can't just sit around and expect that nothing's happening. So first of all, that was a circus. And I think I just want you guys to understand that I'm pretty miffed about the fact that the MPs of the opposition were being treated that way. I think that's a tragedy. Consider that it's now midnight, my wife and children are at home, and I'm in a fuel queue. Okay, so that's the thing. That's the setting we have as Zimbabweans in our heads. The setting we have in Zimbabwe in our heads is that we are in fuel queues. We're about to listen to the budget, which is going to change our lives again, because every time that idiot Mutuli opens his fucking mouth, things go to shit. But we're in fuel queues. You see, that's why we're angry, right? We're not just being angry because we're looking to protest forever. No, you know. Some of us are actually in enterprise now. We're trying to run businesses. We've got employees. We've got people who are expecting us to make better decisions to make sure that they get their salaries and their medical aid paid. So I'm not a political fucking activist. I want people to understand that. I don't earn money from this bullshit. All your other pastors and other friends, yeah, they benefit a lot from this chaos. I can tell you that. But I don't earn money from this madness. So I'm not a political activist. I want to get that clear. The Tea Party has never been about being political activists. We've been political realists. We're people who are out there just telling the truth and showing you what it's like. And this is exactly what it's like. You know, we're in fuel queues. So that's why people are mad. We're mad because we're in fuel queues. And when we're in fuel queues, and when food is going up and we can't feed our fucking kids, and Tamuka, please, I mean, I just said pastors. I mean, you know, my daddy's a pastor. How about that? When we're in fuel queues and food is going up and we're trying to run honest businesses, we can't even get fucking Zimmer to register us and give us, you know, tax clearance. All these things are happening, and your biggest concern is whether MDC's got less than 50 MPs, I think, stand up in fucking parliament, and you bring in police and you make it a fucking circus. I mean, come on now, guys. It doesn't give us confidence in the system. In fact, when Tuli Nume comes and talks about this blah, 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 we're not listening anymore because we just seen women get fucking assaulted in Parliament. These men and women should have protection of Parliament. That's sanctified house. That's the august house of the Zimbabwe. That's where the laws are made. That's the house where people must be most respected. This is why we call them honorable women and men and women. You know what I'm saying? Honorable men and women. And first of all, the first thing we see those brackwatchers in khakis fucking pulling out honorable men and women from the house of the August house. I think that was terrible. Anyway, let's move past that. Let's move past that. It's just an opinion. I mean, I know some people think, yeah, it's good that the police walked in. See, the thing is, guys, just like when we celebrated the cool, not cool, if you start celebrating police walking into the August house to intimidate the opposition, we're fucked. Just like when the military took over from Mugabe and we celebrated, that was a mistake. Because the military didn't do what the fuck they like. They shoot people in the back and then they say it's 45 degrees. See, I'm afraid of that kind of military. They don't even know angles. See, in other countries, militaries are building bridges and doing important things. Our military doesn't even know how to see an angle. They see a nigga shooting in the back of someone and people die from AK-47 bullets and they say they were shooting at 45 degrees angles in the air. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. Pepukai says, Kuda, you are misplaced. I don't know what that means. I'm in the perfect place. I'm in a fuel queue. Pepukai says, I don't agree with you on this. Fine. I don't give a shit if you agree with me or not. That's the beauty of democracy. See, you can believe in unicorns and Jews or whatever the fuck you like. I don't give a fuck what you believe in. I'm telling you what I believe in, which is why you're on my fucking channel. You can go start a live on your fucking channel and you can talk about what the fuck you believe in. See, that's the beauty of Facebook. It democratizes shit. Right? You don't even have to be here, you can't. You can fuck off. Easy. Or you can tell me you don't agree and I'll call you a cunt. You see? That's the way it works. Fuck. In a fuel queue. Okay, so let me get back to my views are misplaced. That's what I'm saying, motherfucker. Go tell your views elsewhere to people who think they're not misplaced. Fuck, man. I'm tired and I'm in a fuel queue. How about that? Okay, so let's go back to where we started. Before this people can't just talking about my misplaced views. I'll misplace these nuts, nigga. How about that? You niggas don't want me to go back to tea time, do you, man? People, I'm not being rude, bruh. I'm actually not being rude. I'm just telling you that, you know, you can't just say my views are misplaced. State your fucking point. What exactly is misplaced of what I'm saying? That we should celebrate the military taking over powers and shooting people in the back? Is that what we should do? We should celebrate women and women in the August house being fucking dragged by fucking police? We shouldn't celebrate that shit. That shit is stupidness. You know? We can't celebrate that shit. It's nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Because we're setting bad precedents, ladies and gentlemen. When you see soldiers shooting women in the back in the streets, it's because we cheered them on. We took selfies with soldiers holding guns and had tanks on the streets of Zimbabwe. And that's what we see. I remember I was one of the niggas out there organizing that shit. So I come at you with a humble heart to tell you that that shit is crazy. Because on the 1st of August, our jubilation turned to fucking sorrow because the same soldiers shot niggas in the back. Ginawa said, I understand you could have, but Parliament is meant to debating issue benefit, not protest. No, Gina, because you see, the MDC MPs don't have many opportunities to get the national eye on them. So during SONA, we had our eyes on the TV screen. During the budget, we had the eyes on the TV. See, what they are saying is that they don't recognize the current administration. Now, you have to remember one thing. It doesn't stop the current administration from being the current administration. That's not the point. You see, they are not trying to overthrow a government through military means like the current administration did. They are not trying to shoot up the houses of the current administration like the current administration did. They just didn't stand up. I mean, fuck, man, they didn't stand up. I mean, it's life. You know, we were watching and they didn't stand up. It's the perfect place for them to protest and say this is not a legitimate system. I mean, let's move on to the budget quickly. Now, I'll come back to what I'm saying about an effective opposition. You see, Mutuli Nube calls himself a professor, but he goes on and does a budget in US dollars, right? He does a US dollar budget, but continuously refers to 3 variants of currency, and then has the audacity to say 1-to-1 gauge. You see, I don't know what fucking kind of professor that is, right? I don't claim to be a smart guy, but that nigga's stupid. You cannot have a budget in one currency and yet constantly refer to other currencies as a standard. So if 1-to-1 is gauge, then why? Fuck, let me play my duty in gauge money. If they're equal, right? All men are created, or all dollars and bonds are created equal, then fine. But it's a stupid budget. It's a budget that affects people like, let's say you're a young makeup artist and you bring in makeup to do makeup. You now have to pay for the makeup you buy overseas. So you will find a way to get some folks to buy your makeup. Then you come to Zim, you want to pay your duty on the makeup. They will now insist that you pay duty on the makeup in US dollars. Okay? That's what they're saying. So, yes, they're saying you may have $1,000 in bond in your bank, but still you need to find US dollars to pay for your duty for that makeup. It's going to affect a lot of you when you come to Zim. Remember that. When you come to Zim, it's going to affect you. Because they're admitting to a 3-tier currency system without admitting it. So they're the only beneficiaries of the 3-tier currency system. So they can charge you in US, but me as a business, I cannot charge for my vegetable boxes in US. Otherwise, I get arrested and put away for 10 years. That's very problematic. It's extremely problematic. Okay? I am not allowed to use a 3-tier pricing structure in anything I do. I have to keep my prices in bond, which is equivalent to US dollars according to their madness. But they're allowed to have 3-tier structures. That's not sustainable, ladies and gentlemen. See, that the wages of that fuck is this. It's us being, instead of being at home with our lovely wives, you know. I really want to be home with my lovely wife. It's been 6 weeks since the baby's born, so I can probably get some sex right now, niggas. Like, 6 weeks is a long time to wait for a thoroughbred male like me, B. Like, so I should be at home cuddling my beautiful wife and not fucking sitting in queues. Sitting in queues. So this is the viro of these problems. The viro of these problems. Don't laugh, Sam. It's been a long time, baby. It's been 6 weeks. And she's my wife. Get the fuck out of here. Don't laugh at me. Alright, so we have serious issues with the tier 3, the 3-tier structure of RTGS, bond cash, and US cash. So I think it's important that, okay, let me read again as well. Now that we know that it's extreme problematic, how do we fix it, Kuda? Okay, there's ways that you and I can fix ourselves on a macro level. So you see, someone like me will never struggle in these weird environments because I'll find a way. Okay, I'll find a way. I'll navigate my way, and I'm privileged enough to be able to find a way around the nonsense. Okay, I got parents of good standing in society. You know, I run a couple of good businesses. I got various little mischievous talents that can get me paid regularly, and I actually have, you know, indefinite leave to remain in important countries like the UK. See, I can leave, so I'm okay. So, but the bad thing about speaking on behalf of just, you know, myself is that then I don't have to speak to you guys. I don't ever have to think about the next man. Now, I am cursed with empathy, so I can empathize with other people because I also feel the pain, right? I feel the pain for my staff. I feel the pain for my friends, my family. I feel the pain for a young, you know, for a young couple that, you know, on the day before Danaya was born, the wife was literally in contractions and needed a C-section, and they couldn't afford to pay the money because the doctor wanted US dollars. Do you understand? Like, if it wasn't for a lot of you guys on my Facebook sending money to help that couple, that mother and that baby would have died. You see, this is real issues that Mutuli didn't address in his budget. He's more worried about getting the last bits of money from the already emerging middle class. So fuck them on duty on cars, fuck them on makeup, fuck them on little things like they brought in mayonnaise, and fuck them on that, they must pay it in Forex. But that's not going to solve the big fundamental gaping hole in the Zimbabwean fiscus. It's not going to solve the big monetary problem issues either. The big problem is the bond note is not gauge to the US dollar. That is the only problem right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Tendai BT is hailed as a genius. All Tendai BT was agree. All he agreed was that the rate that we are saying is not true. So let's devalue this money. Let it go into oblivion and we use a hard currency. That's what Tendai BT did. And it's almost as if Tulinime, all he has to say is, boys, I agree. The bond note is bullshit. And the day he says that, we can then work them out of our systems and then work our way back to a position where we're trading in real money. And right now, we're not trading in real money. We're trading in bogusness. We're trading in fucking goritotos and juzu. Apparitions. You know. In Jidoma cash. And you can't buy, you can't pay someone Jidoma cash. It's phantom money. It's bullshit. So because we have this, so let me explain to you the main problem with this voodoo cash, this bullshit ass cash. The fuel stations that we're looking for fuel, they can take our voodoo cash to the RBZ and be given real money in exchange for voodoo cash, for phantom money, Chidoma cash, Chidoma dollars. We should call them Chidoma dollars. Eh? It's a good one, Chidoma dollars. Gorito to exchange. So they can take these Chidoma dollars and change them for real dollars and then buy Forex. Now, there's 107 of you watching, so I'm going to ask you a question. It's a good question. I see Simbao Shore, he's a banker, he's just joined on. If I take $10 of bullshit to the bank and the bank gives me $10 of real money, and they're saying I'm giving you this real money so that you can go and buy fuel from South Africa, okay? So I take the $10 they've given me, and then I'm supposed to take this money and go buy fuel money, right? At 1:1, then bring it back in Zimbabwe and then sell it for more Chidoma dollars, right? Or I take my 10 Chidoma dollars in, they give me back $10 US, and I can go on the black market in Zimbabwe and I can get that $10 to become $40. And then take that $40 back to the bank and say, give me more real money, and then go and spend another, that $400 can go back on the black market, and then you take $10 out of it, so you take 30 to the black market, then you take $10 back, and then you go and buy fuel. That's the problem, because they got a 3-tier structure. I'm going to explain that one more time, okay, just for those who are not understanding what I'm saying. The reason why there's a problem with Forex is because, right? Sorry, I'm moving forward in the queue. The reason why I have a problem with it is because the fuel stations can change the bogus money into real money, but the real money to them is more valuable on the streets of Harare because they can change it and get more bogus money and again change it at the RBZ for real money. So they don't have to buy fuel, right? Because they've been given the money, and instead of buying the money and buying fuel with the money, it's better to spend it on the streets of Harare and get black market cash. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you take $10, take it to Mtuli. Mtuli then gives you $10 US, right? You burn it on the streets of Zimbabwe. It becomes $40 bond. You take it back to Mtuli. Mtuli then gives you $40 US. You take $10, go buy fuel, and the other $30 you keep it on the black market, burning it, and then you go back to Mtuli now on $1 million of bogus money, and then he gives you more then he gives you more US dollars. You then burn more of it and spend less of it on fuel, and it's a perpetual cycle. Guys, I want you to understand it's a very bad cycle. So it can never work. As long as there's loopholes, it'll never work. I'll give you a personal example. We have a company called Fresh in a Box, and we're selling vegetables, including one thing that we call the Christmas box. And this Christmas box, we've priced it at $30 US for the diaspora. In Zimbabwe, because Zimbabweans are suffering enough, we've charged them 50 bond for the same product. Now, ideally, we want to charge everybody $30, but then we wouldn't be able to keep the company going in Zimbabwe if we charge the same. So we say, let's charge $50. It's cutthroat prices. It's over 50% cheaper than the supermarkets. But we are hoping that the people in the diaspora buy the box from us so that we can somehow subsidize those in Zim who don't have as much, so we charge them a little bit less in real terms. However, a lot of our Zimbabweans in the diaspora have grown brains, you see. They're like, no, fuck that. Let me not send Kuda $30 to buy the Christmas box. Let me send $10 to my China, who will burn it, and then fuck Kuda and them will send it by EcoCash, right? And then I can keep the other money, and then those fuckers can then send my mother the Christmas box for a subsidized price, right? That's destroying my business. I'm finding that the most difficult thing to deal with. Because what people in the diaspora who are making these schemes up, because they think they're geniuses. Let's just burn the money and pay the 50 instead of sending 30 US. But what you don't understand is this. When we get US dollars from the diaspora, we can then pay our farmers also in US dollars so they can pay for the inputs that now are only being paid for in US dollars. The reason why Zimbabwe is going to keep starving is, number one, we have an inept government. And number two, we have a clever population overseas who thinks burning money is clever. Guys actually believe it's a good idea to burn money. Guys, don't do it. Send it by Western Union, send it by World Remit, send it by Cassava. Let it arrive here as real money, right? So that it can circulate, because that's the lifeblood of an economy. If you believe in taking that money and putting it in a Rana's account in the UK, and then the Rana can give us bogus money, Chidoma dollars here, is smart, then what you're not understanding is that you are part of the fucking problem. And I'm not saying this because I'm trying to shout at my brothers and sisters. No, diaspora is not the problem. I'm trying to explain to you that the government has put in bad policy. The diaspora then takes advantage of the bad policy, thinking they're being clever. But it's not clever. It affects real business like me, actually. Because, for example, if you choose not to pay $30 and instead burn money over here, that affects my staff directly. This affects the farmers we work with directly, and affects our product directly, because we can then not pay for the goods. And remember, we are regulated because we're a company. We can't speculate. We can't say, okay, no. We can't do that because there's no way of putting that through the books. You understand? There's no way to put that through the books. So I can see the defensive comments. Well, fuck, it's not our fault. I'm trying to explain to you, Roy, why it is part of your fault. Now, you can fucking put your head up your ass and not listen. I don't care. I'm trying to reach out to you on a man-to-man, man-to-woman, friend-to-friend. You know, we've been together for a while, guys. We've spoken a lot. I'm trying to explain to you why some of these things are not clever. They benefit one person quickly, but they affect everybody in the long run. Okay? They affect everybody in the long run. They don't. And the thing is, there is still ways to get real money to your people in Zim. There's still real ways. Send it via Western Union. They will pick it up as cash. But as long as they now have the cash, they now have a choice to make. Do they want to take that money and burn it? Because they think it's clever. Or should they hold on to their cash so that one day if they're actually sick, like me, they can buy their medicine in US dollars. Because now I cannot buy my BP medicine in bond. That's a fact. Okay? I can't buy my medicine for BP in bond. I couldn't pay for my wife's C-section in bond. I couldn't do that. Okay, so I want guys to listen carefully. I'm really not trying to attack anybody. I'm trying to make you understand the problems and why these problems are also partly our fault. You see, if you send me $50 in cash, and then I go on the black market and burn it and get $200, I think I'm being clever. It's not clever. Because the people who are buying that $50 from me are not people like you and me. It's the government. The only person who can afford to buy money off the streets at ridiculous rates is the government. They are the beneficiaries of the burning of money. You see, it costs nothing for ED to get 100,000 bond notes on the streets of Harare and mop up US dollars for his trips to China and Singapore. It costs nothing for him because him and Mutuli and them friends are printing the money. Okay? It's very important we understand each other here, guys. You may think burning $50 and giving your mama $120 instead of $50 is smart. But the only thing that's smart about it is, number one, your mom then starts to pay more in the shops. So she loses the benefit of that in the first place. And number two, the real people who benefit from your forex when you burn are not your mom. It's the motherfuckers who can print the money. Okay? It's the motherfuckers who print the money. Okay. I don't know what Gina's saying about the verse in the box, but hit me up, Gina. I don't know what you mean. It's a long comment. Okay, so there are runners out there in the diaspora, and we all know them. They send us messages every day. Say, yo, deposit your money in my account. I'll send the money times 10 to your mother in Harare. Okay, that person who's doing that overseas is not rich in Zimbabwe, because for them to keep sending these hundreds of thousands of bond notes around, they're not rich people. They haven't done any production in Zim. They haven't cultivated anything. They haven't grown anything. They're runners for people with money, and the people with money are people like Jinimbi, people like Wikno, people like ED's sons, and so forth. You know, Mtrangwa's sons, etc. These are the people with actual money to burn because they have got access to it all the time. So, I want you, my brothers and sisters overseas, I want you to understand this. I would rather you stop sending money altogether. Just stop. Okay. than fueling the black market, which benefits nobody but the asshole politicians. Because right now, if you go to Mbare or Chitungwiza or whatever, there's a lot of people, a lot of mothers, aunts, grandmothers with lots of money because you guys have sent them the dollars as burnt money. But that money forces everything to go up and up and up and up and up. So right now we're in a place where everything has already compensated for the burning of money, to the extent that it's so bad that your mother can no longer buy medicine using bond notes. Whereas 2 years ago she could, she no longer can. Okay? Yes, Flo, you can pay for the thing. You go on the website, it will help you convert everything. Freshinabox.co.zw. So, if you send money through a runner, you're supporting the regime. It's a fact. I can prove it. It's a fact. If you send money and then you encourage your family to go on the black market, the only people who can afford to pay the black market rate are government. And they mop up that forex, and they can push as much RTGs as they want. It's not real money. Like we said, it's Chidoma money. My ghosts. My ghosts. And they love ghosts, these guys. They love ghosts, and they'll make you believe that, you know, 1:1 is to gauge. And yet they're out here spending a lot of money buying up dollars. Because that's how they survive. They survive on real currency. They don't survive on bond. So it's not clever. Ah, no, fuck. Let's just pay $10 and burn it. It will come out as $50. That's not clever. It's not clever. And if 10 people do it, it's bad. But when now it's 1,000, now it's 10,000 people doing it, all of a sudden, nigga, yafa. Yafa. Nobody should tell me that they are pro-opposition. No one should tell me they're anti-government. No one should say they're pro-democracy if they participate in this chicanery. No one has the right to say it. And I'm not trying to tell you what to do with your lives and your finances, but it's sabotage. The economy is being sabotaged by all of us. And whilst we're sabotaging the economy, we're enriching the government. Ladies and gentlemen, the budget is bullshit. We don't even know what currency the budget is. It is. We don't know what the currency is. He's talking about the US dollars, $66 billion US dollars. Mutile Nube is a disgrace, considering that he gave more money to fucking defense and home affairs and all this bullshit. He should have put all that money into agriculture, because Zimbabwe actually has the most fertile soil in the world. All that money should have gone to agriculture immediately. In fact, he should have cut the budget of defense by half, the budget of home affairs by half, and put in another $1 billion into agriculture. He should have flown back in anyone with expertise, and they should have got the land working again. Because I tell you why. One good season cures Zimbabwe's problems. One good season. Not 2, not 3. One good season of Zimbabwe properly producing. And I'm talking about properly getting dams repaired, irrigation pipes sorted out, you know, best practice for the farmers. One season would give us more money than diamonds ever could have. And this is the missed opportunity. You know, it's a missed opportunity. And I speak as a man who's now going out. See, I'm now, boys. If I was saying this last year, for the last 6 months, I've actually actively been involved in these young farmers. I've been out in Shamba. I've been out in Norton. I've been out in Gutu. I've actually literally been seeing for myself the amount of wasted land. Everywhere else is wasted because we jambanjed the farms and we didn't put back the infrastructure. In so doing, We then fuck around and talk about mining claims. We don't have enough minerals to fucking, or expertise to even get the minerals out the ground. However, we can literally grow ourselves out this mess. Literally. Mutuli. It's an agricultural country. 4,000 Warungus. 4,000 Warungus were so inbred they had to marry their own sisters and uncles. We're generating $47 billion. $47 billion. And he's crying about a $7 billion deficit. That's not a very smart guy. These professors are an abomination. I wanted to see more money in agriculture. I wanted to see more money in healthcare. You know. But everything has a silver lining. Ladies, I've got 3 daughters. Danai, my youngest, Tanaya, Trutendo. And the one thing that made me pleased today was the fact that they've taken away duty and taxes on sanitary wear. And this now brings us into line with the rest of the world, where condoms were cheaper than a woman's menstrual pad. Okay? And I think that's the one thing that I think we must all celebrate, is that the government has come to its senses. Young women now will be able to walk into a store and buy sanitary wear at a cheap price. And I think there's a lot of people who've campaigned for this for years and years and years and years. And I think there's a victory. That's the silver lining in this cloud, that, you know, young girls will not have to be using cow dung and leaves, you know, during their periods. And, you know, 53% of our population is women. And I can't believe that it's taken us this long to realize that we shouldn't be punitive and overtax and overcharge women for a natural occurrence in their life. So I celebrate that particular thing from the budget. For my daughters and for my wife, for my sister and for my mother, I celebrate that one victory. That at least they've seen some sanity, you know. That in a cotton growing country we can have sanitary wear and not make it a preview for the rich. I'll go back to agriculture. I think the term masalad is shameful in an agricultural land. It's a shameful term in an agricultural land. Every child, man, woman, and child in Zimbabwe should be able to afford a little bit of lettuce and cucumber on their plate. We must all be masalad in Zimbabwe because we are blessed. It's a rich nation. It's the most richest nation with the most dams per capita. If you look at the Nile and the Save River and you know, if you look at all the rivers that tribute into us and you know, the Zambezi, the amount of rich, fertile soil in our country, you know, we should easily be able to grow our own food and enough so that anyone can have a bit of lettuce and some cucumber and some broccoli and some cauliflower. You know, we're an agricultural land. We're a land that was built on agriculture. So let's really make sure that we keep our eyes focused on production as a generation. You know? Let's produce more. Not about consumption, is producing more. So anyway, I'm still in the queue. I've been here now for hours and hours. It did move like 2 spots in the time I spoke to you, but it hasn't moved since. So I don't know if it's going to move anymore. I may have to sleep in the car until the tanker comes. And the only reason why this is happening again is because of a distortion of Goritotomani. And I think that's really sad. Read some comments. Truly's clueless, I agree. Kuda Musasiwa, man, I respect you. Salute you, Edwin. Truly, all useless. The inputs are expensive. In short, it is expensive to produce food compared to our neighbors, which means it's only expensive in Zimbabwe to produce food because of the distortion in currency. Otherwise, it's the best land in the world. It's got the best labor, it's got the best expertise, the best land. Most dams per capita. It's actually the cheapest country to make food because there's so many dams around. You know, we are outproduced we're outproduced food-wise by Israel. Can you imagine? Those Majuda in a fucking desert make more food now than we do. I mean, guys. Those fucking Majuda, those Zionists in the middle of the fucking desert, surrounded by Muslims who want to kill them, make more food and pump more water from salt lakes and make more food than we do. I mean, come on, guys, man. Tanaka, I won't make it to Warren Park. I won't make it. That's the honest truth. I won't make it. I won't make it. I won't make it. Kana gone panga baduze maybe bamebrenya vara kwesa hakuna akusina fiwa awa. Amashata akutobuda mota akutombo my legs awo. Israel has better systems, infrastructure. Ours is primitive. You're right. In Zimbabwe, vachiri kushandisa mapadza. 2018, vari kufongora vachishandisa mapadza. That's what I'm saying. When I'm truly clueless. When I'm truly clueless. Kaisa budget. Rinoti vanhu ngavashandise mapadza vakafongora minda. Awamanaka. Invest in agriculture, put in systems, give us the inputs, bring combine harvesters, you know. As one Gashans in my pads, anyway, like I said, we can argue all night, but I'm telling you now, the land that is not being used. Go and watch one of my lives when I went to Shamva there. I want you to see that the land that we're not using is by fucking far more than the land that they are using. You know, so it's like agriculture is a science, guys. You know, musarime chibage pa 4 hectares. Musarime chibage. Chibage chinorimwa national foods nevanhu vane mazi big plot nemacombine harvesters. Regai kurima chibage hazvibatsire chinhu zvezvo. Rimaiwo tunhu tunokupaiwo cash, cauliflower, broccoli, strawberries. It's a science. You don't just plonk things in the fucking field wakafongera nebadza ofunga kuti I hope uchanaya. No, that's not how you create food for the country. Industrial food doesn't need that's not how we get enough food to eat, guys. That's not how we get enough food to eat. It's a fucking science. It's precise. It's very precise. You plant in the right amount of distance. You water the right way. The right amount of fertilizers. The right amount of fluid. You know, what is the soil compound? That move one car. Hey, you know, hey, we're moving one car. You know, what is the fuel compound? How do we get a higher yield? It's a science. It's no longer just ngatungo ningirigina. Ngatungo plonga muno mtofongana nemapadza no. You can't grow food like that. So I'm advocating for much more investment and development in our agricultural lands and our agricultural produce, so that we can not only eat a lot ourselves, but also export a lot. What are the best crops to grow? Go into Tesco, it'll tell you. You know, go into Tesco, it'll tell you. Grow fruit, grow bananas, you know, grow avocados, find the right cultivars. Grow strawberries, grow berries, you know. Grow high value crops, you know, sugar beans, fine beans, you know, things that everybody wants to eat. You know, lettuces, blah, blah. There's a lot of beautiful vegetables and produce and fruit and stuff that you can grow. And not lychees. I mean, grow all that stuff. Because we can put that in planes. We can put that in planes and we can export loads of it and get loads of money coming back into our fiscus. Like those 4,000 Marungu inbreds. The ones I rorana na pachao, marry your brother and sister. I rorana that's why they talk like this and they're very retarded. But they were making $47 billion, guys. $47 billion. Maize is a bullshit crop. It's meant for cows and fucking feeding livestock. The truth. Anyone else has anything to say? Sorry, I'm in a fuel queue, so I'm just fucking ranting. I guess I'm not necessarily have anything else to talk about. I wouldn't engage. What are we talking about here? Remember, we're a country that eats sadza and salt. Grateful for me, usaka kusari machibage zimbos. Aiwa man. Unorima. Okay, rekandukudze science yekuri machibage wana amwari. Because some people say I'm in Rwanda. They can answer kutaura kuri machibage. Yodina mai vangu vanoda machibage. Every year around rainy season, paneta hondo yekuenda kumunda. Hondo, the gardener, the maid, my brothers, anyone who's at the house, wenda kumunda. My mother goes on a crazy frenzy for kumunda. But every year the yield she gets from that chibage is less than a ton. Now I want you to understand what that means. It means that all that effort, all that shouting, all that everybody has to now go through the madness because Kuda Musasiwa is now going into a frenzy about kunorima kumunda. All of that bullshit is for a ton. And a ton of maize costs, it gets from the GMB, 390 bond. That's how much money you make from a ton of maize. After all the aggro, after shouting at my dad to get the truck so that she can move her fucking maize and making the guys build these fucking items for the maize to go in, then even my kids have to sit there and chokunyora chibage for fucking hours because my mother's on a mad one. All that effort comes to under a ton, and that's valued at 390 dollars. Bollers. Now, kanari magwere ne nechibage cha muno daga. Fucking go into a shop and buy them $1 for $5, man. Because I know for $390 at $1 for $5, you'll get more than a fucking ton. That's the maths. That is the maths, guys. Nobody who grows chibage in my greenway marare is making money. It's bullshit. That best one gonna be ka 4 ka 5 mbama then show marara bo chuo mesa venda kuno guys abo jika hupu for 2 months. Chete. Kana mda utenga chibage pinda mspa mutenge chibawe enda pota cha graiwa ni national foods nda pota mstara Jesu. Kana mune land rimai zvinonaka tuma strawberry twitwi tunoiswa ma salad netuma netundu nonaka. Because tikaita basa rekurima chibage tese toita hondo pamusha. Kuda Musasiwa kunoita hondo pamusha ni Kuda Musasiwa wada kuti vanhu vaende kumunda kuti varime chibage instead of kurima zvine musoro. I get blisters on my fucking fingers when my mother gets in a frenzy so we can chokunyora the shit out of her fucking chibage and we get less than a ton for $390 GMB. They said, don't worry, no guys, I told you, my mother owns fucking 20 houses, for God's sake. What the fuck does she need to remind chibage for? It's madness. It's madness, I tell you guys. It's fucking mad. A woman who owns 20 houses. 20 houses. And businesses galore. Fucking shouts at everyone for them to fucking grow 10 tons of maize. Jesus Christ. The thing is, on the same hectare of land, she could make fucking strawberries and all sorts. Right? She could really get a lot of beautiful produce that could actually, like, you know, she could grow collie, you know, or tomatoes, or put a greenhouse and actually yield some shit all through the year and then proper money. But no, Damunda must be sakurwa, then nofana kundwiswa chakuti yobviswa masora yonzwai mambo no saku wesha. Ah yeah. Please don't tell my mother I'm telling you the truth like this. Aiwa, it's a passion company. Gari me name soro sha. Kwete kuri machibage china basa. Kuti munu wese pano ya pambana. Now she's trying to offload the fucking thing. So every time you get to her house, she's trying to give you a basket full of that shit. Come on now, get out of here. Or buy it from the streets. Anyway. Where are we? We used to start. No, I'm getting national foods, man. I will contact you in your inbox. I'm offering free consultancy and networking for African farming systems. Agriculture is our only hope. Respect Musiwa, that is spot on. Only hope is agriculture. Chibage ndizvo. Himika. Musati magara up there. That's what chibage ndizvo. Musati arimi. I mean, it's. I give you an example. I need to find an analogy. Yeah? It's somebody with a car choosing to walk to town instead of getting in a car because it's tradition. I think that's the best analogy. It's not efficient. Kurima chibage is not efficient. Chibage chino rimwa national food ndapota mzita ra Jehovah. Rimai chibage muri ku national foods. Morimira nyika yese tomila totenga hufu $2. Muzati hufu noita mari ma $3.50. Chikaji for kg chepu. Ndapota hangu mzita Jesu murega kurima chibage pa maplot. Rimai ningirigini. Rimai zvinemsoro. Rimai zvinemsoro. What else is a question? Hey, you guys think I'm lying? Look at I don't know if you can see. I'll bet any one of you $1,000. If I go to my mother's house tomorrow morning at 5 in the morning, Murie saying munde amonskwa. And nigga sit but munda waoka. Ma greenway ma meborena. Muna ane farm ku bro mli ano rimra ma greenway me brain awa manaka hondo ye minda munu wese minda vakabata mapadza 2019 is pairing it as of Mugabe is gone and we're still using mapadza makamboita manual handling ku UK kuti musana fungira munda uchirwa mapadza guys. Then we say we're the most literate nation in the world. My teacher achirimisa on one time mapadza. How do you get me in the Gurima? I remember I don't go pimirana. It's like no one is an official munda. But I don't go up on the pamunda paningi, you know, I don't go pinda mopima, or me motangira, motango pesapam gum, in the grapam gum, to shake up a light, go pimirana, me. Apana one green. No one has actually official land. Yeah, you're right. Some of them have been taken over by city council and are building land, but listen, my mother will fucking Chibage on the loan if she has to. It's like, it's psychologically wired to the Panafana Chibage. No, Panaya, Chibage. And look, my sweet mom is not alone. Everybody does it. It's not clever, but it's life. Bull breeding is high income. Yes, bull breedings. When I boa goats, anyone else who's got Chibage is economic sabotage. You are right. Listen, Chibage ndeche mombe ne livestock. Achifanda uri wane vanhu. Chakauya nevarungu. Chakauya nengarava. Kuti vafide ningirini zvifuwo zvavo. Isusu kutibike sadza is not Zimbabwe's staple food. You need to stop saying that. Roads. We don't eat maize naturally in Zimbabwe. Maize is not a self-perpetuating plant. Maize is a planted plant. It's a fuckery plant. It's not supposed to be eaten by humans all the time. It's very bad. It makes you dull. It's amount of starch. It's not good for your health. It's literally pap. It's taking a pound of starch and making you sever gravy to give you the illusion of eating meat and vegetables. It's not good, man. It's not good, guys. Maize is not a good thing. It's not a good crop for human being consumption. I promise you, maize came into Zimbabwe in the late 1800s. Our mothers, our sekurus, my sekuru and my ambuya who just passed Mangube, may she rest in peace, only tasted it on her lips in her 40s, I think. Wait, what did she say again? No. In the 20s. When she moved from Chisigola's area in Bulawayo and came to Gutu, that's when she tasted maize. Because it wasn't supposed to be chowed by humans, man. It's fuckery. Zimbabweans we used to have a lot more grain stuff, but we used to do a lot more bulb and legumes type things. So we didn't do maize. Maize, it doesn't grow by itself in the ground. It's not a self-perpetuating plant. It's a plant, you know, it needs your maize is like a baby, a human baby. It needs your constant love and affection for it to survive. It can't survive organically by itself. So there's no such thing as organic maize. It's all fuckery. And the reason why our government pays $390 for it is because they know that you're not going to cause any trouble from November to March, because you're running around preparing, looking after this stupid crop. It's a stupid crop, man. I promise it's a stupid crop. I say this with all due respect, you know, for where we come from. Pig husbandry is also quite good, you know. It's very good, actually. Agriculture, I mean all of it. Chicken rearing, there's a lot of proper agriculture we can do in Zim. Scrap command agriculture starters. Banks should be able to give loans and forex generated projects. Yeah, you're right, but then a lot of this land is not owned by people. It's owned by fucking goritotos and ghosts. It's not real. No one owns this land, so you can't get a loan on it. You can't get a loan on this land, guys. That's the honest truth. So, yeah, I'm a one. I'm just in a queue. I don't even know if they're going to serve me or not, or if they're going to insist on fucking cash or whatever. Yeah, these niggas give you a 100-year lease and then say borrow on a 100-year lease. And the banks look at you and say, fuck you, Randy. Like, you can't get no loans on that. So, unless the government itself is willing to input and give people the cash to rema on these places, then it's a lost cause. Those are the that you bag. They don't have to say. Visa Mugabe one visa bond. I'll give you one bond visa because you don't make her on back. Bond makes people money, makes people rich. This here, total. Huh? I want to explain to you guys one more time in our few. Total can receive bond from us because they can take our bond and take it to the RBZ and get US dollars. Total then has a choice because of parallel systems. Does it take the dollars it took from us, which is now real money, and take it to SA and England to buy fuel? Or do they burn the money first, triple it, and go back to the RBZ and get more real money? Do you see the problem? It's now a better business model for service station owners to burn money than to actually go and purchase the Ningrini, to actually go and purchase the fuel. So that's the problem. It's cheaper for them to purchase, sell the money on the street than to go and buy fuel and try and make a profit off fuel. That's because the government agrees to give them bond into real money. So they can, that's why when we're talking about Queen Bine, that's the problem. The problem is that these guys are allowed to spin bond into real money and vice versa. And that's the problem. Okay. The only people get one-to-one user and bond is the service stations. And when they get that user, they burn it and it becomes 3, and they go back to the Reserve Bank and they get that one-to-one again, so they come out with $3. So then they'll take the $1 and then take it to the fucking thing to buy fuel, and then the Reserve, they don't tell the Reserve Bank they're selling the rest. So that's what I was saying, guys, but it's not clever. It's bullshit. It's crazy. Hey Vera, how you doing? Anyone else anything to say or anything to ask? We're still in the fuel queue. See, I'm almost there. I need a cigarette real bad. I've been smoking like a motherfucker, sadly. Zimbabwe Marwads, you know, it will make you smoke. There's a young nigga here, right? He's standing at the petrol station taking a piss. Taking a piss. I think he's just been in the line for so long. He literally just took a piss on his own wheel in front of us. We're now barbarians. That young nigga, dressed real nice, obviously went to a good school, just pissed on his wheel in front of everybody in a fucking fuel queue. We're now barbarians, people. We're now barbarians. Zimbabwe Marwadzo. Dagwini. Damondi. We're now fucking animals. That's what my dog does. He just say, hey, fuck, I need to piss. But poor guy, he's been sitting in the queue for 7 hours. What is he supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? Yeah. What is he supposed to do? The guy. Poor guy. He's finally got to the line like, fuck, I'm going to take it right here. As Zimbabwe Marwads. Yeah. We've been reduced to fucking monkeys and dogs, guys. Yeah. Where are we? Crazy indeed, my boy. Zim is a sad country. No, Zim is a beautiful country, guys. You see, when we talk about these things, we should never get to a stage when we start to curse and bring badness. And words are powerful. Words are really, really powerful. Zim is a beautiful, beautiful land. Zim is a wonderful place to be, live, great place to raise your kids. And I think it be just some better governance. Or in fact, let's be honest, after that coup, that time when no one was in charge, things were good for us. If they just leave us alone, we'll be fine. We almost don't need a government. We don't need a government. They just need to leave us alone, and then we'll be fine. Because every time they get they interfere, it causes us trouble, man. It causes us trouble. Toilet in Zimbabwe. Toilet in Zimbabwe, you know, kiwa. Uga kiwa to Doomtown or mama. Literally. Like, if you ever have like, when you're going down, avoid all the cheese, because if you need to take a proper shit in town, you're in trouble. You have to key and run to the Mikos or something and bribe someone to get a proper toilet, because yee, guys. Don't you think the only way to go forward is to go backwards? No, we need to go forward. Embrace technology, embrace new ways of thinking, embrace cryptocurrencies and stuff. I mean, we need a Zim coin, definitely. Something that the government can't touch, an unregulated, self-regulating currency. Because if you give these old cunts an opportunity to print, they make these kind of problems. The Zimbabwean government is retarded. They'll make problems. You niggas thought it was Chinamasa. It's not Chinamasa, because now you have Mtulinumbe and he's making more. Chinamasa didn't give us fuel crews. Fact. Yeah, I'm at what? Abusive relationship. Anyway, sorry, I mean, I've been on for ages and ages, but like I said, I was sitting in the car by myself, so I thought hang out with some peeps. You guys have nothing to do, watching me rant and swear and shit. But, you know, thank you, I appreciate you joining me. I never take it for granted. I never take it for granted, you know, that people tune in and listen. So we're grateful. Yeah, no one wants to listen to the Povo. I had someone to talk to. Who here wants to join this conversation? Who wants to join the conversation? Who wants to join the conversation? Just say add. I'll add you. Okay. I've turned on allow requests. So yeah, I'm still in the few queue. We talked about the budget. I don't know what you mean by going backwards, Tintana, because we almost need to get rid of all of these guys. We need all of them to go. Hey Florence, you're cleaning the house, huh? What time is it where you are, Sha? I'm still a bit spaced out about the young kid who just had to piss in front of his car. Like, they've turned us into animals. Because see, the thing is, I'm sort of busting for a wee myself. Because it's almost like you can't leave your car to run outside and go to find a toilet, because people then jump in front of you in the queue and shit. Like, you lose your space. So normally, like, unless you have a second driver. But now it's like, you know, I feel like jumping on and peeing on the floor. Like, just like, fuck, man. All need to go, including MDC. That's too simplistic, I think. There's definitely MDC elements that should go, but I don't think all of them should go. I mean, I don't even think all of ZANU should go. You know, I just think that there's definitely a generation of Msatanyokos that must. Right. Oh, fuck. I knew I would do that as well. I left my charger. Oh, bollocks. Bollocks, bollocks, bollocks. Bollocks. Oh, that's a mess. That's a proper mess, I tell you. I tell you, it's a proper mess, eh? This work? My one. My one charger. So I left my charger. So I'm going to cut the feed. I tell you why. Because the only way to pay in Zimbabwe is using your phone. I got 21%. I can stay a little bit longer, I guess. We're almost there. Yay. I'm gonna try and drive a little bit over the guy's piss so that if I come out, I won't have to step on it. Yeah, so the only way to pay is with the phone. Yeah, no. There'll be a driver for the run in Gweru, so I'll be able to. I'll just knock on and just snooze and snore. That's what I'll do. Mangujga needs to go. Mangujga is mad. Mangujga is a proper fucking idiot, guys. Anyway, the tambo kurukura. Yes, it may sound like it was a scatterbrain conversation, but there's a lot of bits you can, I don't know, hear and engage with, I guess. I have a lot to say. I haven't done tea time in a while. There's a lot to talk about, so maybe I should. I think the queue is now 2 cars. I'm now 2 cars. I've now done 6 hours in the queue. 6 hours. So I'll get them, they'll say, $20 chete. I'm like, fuck. I'll kick off if they only say $20 because I see they're filling up these guys' cars. I'll kick off properly. Because I've been here for so long, man. Lumumba bigs up Mangujiga. Lumumba bigs up whoever's paying him the most that day. Tamana Lumumba, boys. Lumumba is a maverick. He knows where his bread is buttered. He be eating his cash. God, Shika. Hey, the fuel attendant is Bay. Fuck Lumumba. Lumumba, my little brother, man. Don't say fuck Lumumba, man. Lumumba's my little brother. I love him to death. Lumumba's a kid who pulled himself out of Epworth and made himself son, so forgive him. Alright, team, so I'm almost gonna get my fuel, you know, with petrol attendant Bay. You know, so it's good to have a Bay of fuel. Finally. Doni kaedu. We thank God. We thank God. We shall overcome as a nation. We thank God. Anyway, we spoken. Go and order your diaspora box right now, fresh in a box.co.zw. There you go. Go order your diaspora boxes for your family. Me and the team will go and deliver it to your door without fail. I promise. It's all the best produce out in the world. What happened to you and the Povo? I don't know. I was never part of Povo, guys. I was part of Be the Change. I was campaign manager for the Be the Change campaign. Povo was Pastor E's little, you know, grandiose delusion. So, well, we're all grandiose, but anyway, it's life. Yes, Flo, we're going to Gweru tomorrow. We're leaving at 4. If you take all of Povo's votes put them together, he was with Fadai. No, he wasn't. Fadai got more votes than most presidential candidates. If you take all of Povo put together, I think I got more votes than them and I wasn't running. I swear, I think I got more votes than Pastor E and I wasn't running. That's told true. I was in 3 votes I was spoiled with my name written on them. So I think I got more than he did. Like, promise. Yeah, I was with Fatai Mahere. She got 4,500 votes. She did well. She beat Noah Manyika and fucking Kosana Moyo, so she did well. But the boys is rough. Yeah. But in that, like, I got votes and I wasn't even running. It was funny shit. Like, guys say, oh shit, nigga, I was counting in my thing in birthday. I was like, hey, Kuda Musasiwa tea party. I thought, oh shit. I got more votes than some of these food on the internet. Internet no food around, no komana. Anyway, that's Rika Manch. The guy and the baba, I'm not allowed to use my phone. Peace out, people.